First on the Gulf Coast with breaking news and weather. Fox 10 Midday starts now.
Well, it's Wednesday, March 18th. We want to welcome you to Fox 10 Midday on this beautiful sunny day. I'm Ashley Mitchell.
I'm meteorologist Nicholas Herboso. On this sunny day, we do have a few clouds rolling in today. No rain.
Okay.
There's no rain for the next 7 to 10 days.
Oh, wow. So it'll be pretty dry.
Yes, it's going to be a dry period. For those who are doing lawn care or stuff like that, I know I'm trying to ramp that up too.
For sure.
I'm like, I'm going to have to start watering every single day.
Yeah.
I want to fertilize, but that would be, I'd have to water a lot.
Right.
So we're going to think about watering over the next few days because there's going to be dry. Also, it's getting warmer, so good news for spring breakers. The beach forecast this weekend is looking favorable. Speaking of beach, that's what it looks like down there at Orange Beach. That's the top corner of your screen there. Orange Beach camera. That's that turquoise place looking towards the pass there. And you see some of the cirrus clouds that are up top. They're really, really pretty picture. 57 degrees right now in D'Iberville, Mississippi. 54 in Mobile from both of our camera views there. Again, 55 degrees in Orange Beach from the Eastern Shore Toyota Camera Network. Lovely water color as well. Not a lot of folks out there because it is so chilly. Eventually this weekend, I know a lot of people are on spring break. The air temperatures down at the beach will go up to the middle and upper 70s, but your water temperatures, because we've just had this cool spell, are going to be down a little bit. So keep that in mind if you're heading down there. All right, next 5 hours in Mobile. A few clouds around, temperatures here in the upper 50s, and then eventually getting into the 60s this afternoon. It should be a very nice afternoon. In Pensacola, you can have a few clouds around, temperatures staying again in the middle upper 50s, eventually getting to the 60s here. Let's talk weather headlines. Warming trend is the big one. We're getting up to 80 degrees this weekend, and the long range stretch, I mentioned not a lot of rain. It's going to be warm temperatures as well, especially early next week. We are seeing those highs well into the 80s here. Dry conditions, no rain over the next 7 to 10 days. A very pleasant weekend ahead. Good news for spring breakers. Here's the warming trend, seven-day forecast for afternoon temperatures. 62 today. We're in the 70s tomorrow. We're in the middle 70s there on Friday, maybe upper 70s in some locations. Then 80, 80, 80, 80, 80 all the way through, and probably for a good chunk of next week too. I do not see any major systems coming over the next 7 to 10 days, so it's going to be a quiet stretch for us. Maybe some favorable weather for outdoor plans. We'll have a look at that forecast in more detail coming up.
All right, Nick, thank you. And topping our headlines today, a Theodore mother who is accused of killing her child is set to go before a judge today for a bond hearing. Amanda Morgan was booked into jail this week, charged with felony murder and aggravated child abuse. Mobile police say investigators responded to a mobile home park on Sperry Road in Theodore on October 8th of 2025. Officers say they found a boy dead on scene, and according to investigators, there were signs of neglect. Now, a spokesperson for Mobile Police says once their part of the investigation was complete, they sent the case to the district attorney's office for review. The DA's office says they were waiting on an autopsy and toxicology report to come back before charging Morgan. We are expecting to learn more details today in court. Stay tuned right here on Fox 10 News for those updates. Well, meanwhile, a Mobile man accused in the murder of a local teenager had a bond hearing that just wrapped up moments ago. 20-year-old Jonathan Lee Robinson faces a felony murder charge for the death of Isaiah Johnston. Robinson not granted bond this morning as he has a holdout of circuit court. Robinson is also not allowed to have contact with the victim's family. He does have an arraignment scheduled for Monday. We will bring you updates here as well. And in the meantime, Mobile police investigating a shooting that happened in West Mobile. MPD says around 7 a.m. yesterday morning, someone shot at a home on Spyglass Drive. Investigators tell us no one was home at the time and no arrests have been made either. If you know anything, call Mobile Police right away. And meanwhile, a Mobile towing company is fighting to reclaim its spot on the city's tow rotation after a 60-day suspension. B&B Auto Wrecker has operated in Mobile and Citronelle for 43 years. The suspension stems from a February 16th run-in with a Mobile police officer. Corporal Rusty Hodge, who oversees the city's tow rotation, told council members owner Brad Walker was driving an unpermitted 2017 Dodge Ram during the parades with no current insurance or license tag. Walker admits the truck had no tag, but says it was insured and he provided proof. He acknowledges the vehicle had not been inspected, but says he wasn't using it to tow, only to dispatch another permitted truck. Corporal Hodge says it wasn't the company's first interaction either.
It's actually the second offense where they've had a truck that was not permitted taking calls in the city of Mobile or presenting itself to take calls in the city of Mobile.
I came down in it just to sit and dispatch out of it. I never moved the truck. I never attempted to pick up any impounds with that truck.
Walker's attorney says his client could appeal to Mobile County Circuit Court if the council decides to rule against him, but any ruling would likely come after the suspension expires. Israel is stepping up its targeting of senior Iranian leaders, and overnight an airstrike took out the regime's intelligence chief. He was responsible for overseeing the country's entire global terror network, including sleeper cells. Meanwhile, the U.S. is escalating its airstrikes on Iranian military targets, coming just a day after Israeli bombs killed more than a dozen government officials, including Ali Larijani, thought to be the country's de facto leader. Iran responding with an attack on Tel Aviv. At least 2 people were killed. Now, the regime says the strikes will continue, but experts are questioning how many missiles Iran has left after almost 3 weeks of joint U.S.-Israeli airstrikes.
They are working with us to take down all of Iran's offensive weapons, but they're also taking down the organizations that sustain the regime.
Meanwhile, for the first time, the U.S. dropped a new 5,000-pound bomb on Iranian missile storage facilities near the Strait of Hormuz, hoping to get the vital waterway back open after European leaders rejected the president's push for a naval coalition. And as the Trump administration continues its calls for a change in Cuba's leadership, the island's president is promising resistance. This comes as Cuba works to restore power after a massive blackout. Fox News correspondent Alexandria Hoff has more.
After a nationwide grid collapse, Cuba's government says power is slowly being restored to most of its 11 million people. But officials warn the power network could fail again as it crumbles under a U.S. oil embargo imposed shortly after Nicolas Maduro's capture.
The bottom line is their economy doesn't work. That thing they have has survived on subsidies from the Soviet Union and now from Venezuela. They don't get subsidies anymore, so they're in a lot of trouble.
Today, Cuba's president lashed out at the Trump administration, saying any attempts to take control of his country would be met with resistance, adding, quote, "They intend to and announce plans to take over the country, its resources, its properties, and even the very economy they seek to suffocate in order to force us to surrender." Last week, he confirmed a new round of talks with the U.S. But in the Oval Office yesterday, President Trump doubled down on warnings of a friendly takeover.
Cuba right now is in very bad shape. They're talking to Marco.
Democratic lawmakers say any military action will require congressional approval. On Capitol Hill this week, they pressed the administration on its plans for the island.
Are we preparing to go and invade Cuba?
I'm not familiar with any plans on Cuba. What I'm saying is that fundamentally, Cuba has provided a significant threat to the United States hemispheric security for decades.
To ease its economic situation, Cuba's government says it plans to allow Cuban nationals living abroad to invest in companies on the island. In Washington, Alexandria Hoff, Fox News.
Also today, with the Department of Homeland Security still shut down, Senator Markwayne Mullin is trying to convince his colleagues that he can bring stability to the agency, now facing a mountain of challenges. The hearing got pretty personal quick between Mullin and Chairman Rand Paul. Paul took issue with Mullin's aggressive style, and Mullin fired back.
I just wonder if someone who applauds violence against their political opponents is the right person to lead an agency.
Seems like you fight Republicans more than you work with us.
Trump nominated Mullin for DHS secretary after removing Kristi Noem from the post earlier this month, following a string of controversies, including the shooting deaths of 2 anti-ICE protesters by federal agents in Minneapolis. If confirmed, Mullin's immediate concern would be securing the department's budget. But Democrats are refusing to fund DHS until the White House and Republicans agree to new guidelines for ICE and Border Patrol agents. Listen to this. A 23-car train derailment is now under investigation in Texas. This all happened along Highway 90 near Richmond, Texas this morning. Investigators say they found ethanol leaking from 2 tank cars, but say the leak is contained and not currently a threat to the public. Another tank was actually leaking corn syrup. There are no reports of any injuries here and no evacuation orders have been issued. And the cause of this derailment on your screen is now under investigation. It's 11:09 now, still to come on Fox 10 Midday. Kicking for Kindness is bringing awareness to Down syndrome. We have their next event that's coming up this Tuesday at Saraland High School. We'll have all the details about what you need to know in a live interview after this. But first, Nick, a nice day for a cat nap inside.
Yeah, let's go and take a look at the forecast. You're going to have temperatures rolling up through the 50s here in our cat nap forecast. This is Wink, submitted by Sandra Gaines. Thank you for sending in the photos. If you want to have your photos submitted on the Fox or featured on the Fox 10 cat nap forecast, what you can do is you can submit it on the Fox 10 weather app. Always a great tool to have. Submit those photos, please. It's going to be a nice, cool afternoon. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome back into Fox 10 Midday today. Super excited to talk about this on the show. Project Outreach is hosting Kicking for Kindness, a direct shot for Down syndrome awareness. Today we have Scott Parks, the executive director of Project Outreach, Davis Parks, and Denson Bruns. It's great to have you on the show today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So super excited to get to the shoes and cool socks here on this table in just a moment. But starting with you, Scott, tell us a little bit about Kicking for Kindness and how it all started in the Port City.
Yeah, well, we've been hosting our basketball autism event, Shooting to Change, for the last 13 years, and we saw the benefits of putting school-related sports and disability awareness together. And so all of my kids personally play soccer, and World Down Syndrome Day is in March, and so it just lined up with socks and soccer and all these things to kind of come together. And 99% of all individuals with Down syndrome identify as happy. And so what a great attribute that we can encourage. I mean, we need more kindness everywhere. Absolutely. So we felt like this was a great platform for us. And so this is our 3rd year, and we're excited to see it continue to spread, not just locally, but even across the state.
That's so incredible, and so thankful for what you guys do here in the city. And it's cool to see your initiative grow as well. I have to ask you, Davis, what's this been like for you to work with kids who have disabilities, but especially Down syndrome?
It's been great, you know, like getting to combine soccer and help students with Down syndrome. You know, sometimes soccer gets underlooked in sports, especially in America, but I think that kind of correlates well because students with Down syndrome and disabilities also get overlooked. So I think getting the chance to play and, you know, just like be with them is a great opportunity for me and our team.
That's so awesome. You play for Saraland High School, correct? What position do you play?
I play right back, which is defender.
Okay, very cool. When you're out there on the field coaching these kids, what are you telling them? How are you encouraging them?
You know, just trying to be kind, trying to do my best out there to just set a good example.
Yeah, and you know, soccer truly is a sport for everyone, so that's so cool that you're bringing them alongside with you as well. Denson, I have to ask you, these shoes, you made them, which I think is so impressive. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Mr. Parks gave me the logo and color scheme of each shoe, and I just was creative and tried to make them cooler looking.
You're so artistic, and this really is like the symbol of your guys' project as well. Can you tell us how you made them? I'm so impressed.
Well, I like have a specific type of marker. It's like paint, and well, first you have to like put a specific thing to make the paint stick.
Yeah.
And then I just paint it, and then we put something else on it to make it stay on. So.
Gotcha. These are so cool. Again, can't find these at the store at all. These are personalized by you for sure. Scott, you said that these are up for a raffle, right?
Yeah, we've been holding raffles. This is, we called it Kicks for Our Cause. And so we did some for Shooting to Change. We just did the raffle for Kicking for Kindness. And then Denson's wearing our last raffle for the shoes that will be for Project Outreach. And, you know, fundraising is something that we do in conjunction, but that's not our main objective. Our main objective is disability awareness, acceptance, and understanding. But we have to fund it. And so, you know, with our special socks and shirts and these cool kicks.
Yeah.
It's a way to just make what we do out there and more presented. And Denson's amazing. You know,
Yeah.
the skill that he's offered, and you know, he's one of our Project Outreach members at Saraland Elementary and Davis at Saraland High. Like, they're really the ones who are changing the culture for disability awareness in our schools, and that's what we want to spread.
You guys are leading the way for sure among all of those kids. If people are watching and they want to get their hands on those socks or shoes, how can they do that?
Yeah, I mean, our Facebook page, Project Outreach Gulf Coast, is where you can see all the different ways that we support that. We'll actually have the John's Crazy Socks for sale at our event next Tuesday on March 24th, and that starts at 5 at Saraland High. The boys' game will be after that around 7. We'll have our students with Down syndrome being the honorary captains. We'll have some in-house competition at halftime. The yellow and blue trail maids will be there, supporting the colors of Down syndrome. And really, we're just trying to make a place where everyone feels included. And that's our goal.
Yeah, well, I know you guys are doing that. And again, that information was on your screen just a moment ago. If you want to get involved with Kicking for Kindness, we'll have another link on our website at fox10tv.com with all of the information we need to know. Guys, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
Excited to see the turnout as well.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Y'all.
At 11:18 now, we're looking down at Pensacola Beach. This would be a nice place to be for a walk along the beach. I would not, however, want to be in the water today. It's going to be cold, and we do have some chilly temperatures out there today. But good news is things are changing. We are excited about that, especially for those spring breakers coming down to the Gulf Coast. A warming trend tops our weather headlines here on our Wednesday. We're going to have temperatures by this weekend getting up to around 80 degrees. Dry conditions as well. This is one of those very, very rare forecasts in the month of March where we have a dry stretch. However, this is a really long dry stretch, probably over a week to a week and a half. This weekend is looking nice with a warm and pleasant one. Temperatures again getting up to the lower 80s. I mentioned no rain. This is the GFS forecast model over the next 7 days. Almost nothing, which again is rare for March. What's happening is we have this massive ridge of high pressure over the western United States. There are heat alerts for portions of Arizona, California right now because of this ridge of high pressure causing sinking air and warming temperatures there. This pattern does not move for the next week, really, and that's going to mean a really, really warm trend for us here and a pretty quiet stretch for us on the Gulf Coast. High temperatures getting up into the 80s beginning on around Saturday. We could see some spots sneaking to 80 on Friday, but Saturday really everybody's up near 80 degrees and it stays that way for a while here. We're going to have temperatures by Monday at 83 degrees. We could see some of those middle 80s sneaking in as well. This afternoon, it's in the 60s, so it's cool. 63 degrees in Bay Minette, 62 Mobile, 62 Gulf Shores, 60 in Pensacola. Tomorrow afternoon, we make it to the 70s, 76 in Calvert, 73 Mobile, 76 in Leakesville, 75 in Lucedale, 70 in Pensacola, and then 69 in Gulf Shores. Speaking of the beach, low risk of rip currents over the next 5 days. That takes you through the weekend. That is very, very favorable news for anybody who is going down to the beach this weekend. We want to remind you, though, please pay attention to those beach flags. Those beach warning flags are so important this time of year. Read the signs when you go down to the beach. Also pay attention to those purple flags as well. I do note that we've had some jellyfish reports recently. So the weekend forecast, temperatures in the 80s. Whatever outdoor plans you have, we have a lot of stuff going on across our region. It's going to be nice. A very pleasant morning, then warm afternoons with mostly sunny skies for this weekend. The warming trend for our morning temperatures show morning lows now, Thursday morning here, 41 degrees. But they're going up, and eventually we'll have some pleasant mornings this weekend, right around 60 degrees. So overnight tonight, your forecast, 41, mostly clear, chilly, not as cold though. Those lows not dipping way down into the freezing mark like we've seen previously. Maybe some of our far inland communities could get close to freezing, but I think for most of us, the temperatures are moderated a bit here. 35 here for Grove Hill, Monroeville, 34, Evergreen, 41 in Mobile, 43 in Pensacola. Day planner tomorrow after that chilly start. Again, temperatures getting up a little closer to the 70s, 67 degrees in Pensacola tomorrow afternoon. In Mobile, mainly sunny conditions and temperatures breaking 70. Here's that 7-day outlook. Spring begins on Friday, and it's going to feel like it with those temperatures getting up into the 70s, then 80s from there all the way through the weekend and into early next week.
Looking forward to those stunning temperatures there, Nick. Thank you. It is 11:21 now on your Wednesday. Coming up, GLP-1 drugs can help people with obesity lose weight, but many users go off the drug after just a year. We are taking a look at how you can maintain the weight loss in today's Health Minute after this break. It's a medication that's exploded in popularity. GLP-1 drugs can help people with obesity lose weight, but researchers say many patients go off the medicine within a year. But a new study suggests those who are no longer taking the drug but did one of a handful of things were able to keep that weight off. So in today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither speaks to the lead researcher about the findings and what he says everyone who stops taking this medication should know.
They've become an important weapon in the battle against obesity. About 1 in 8 U.S. adults reported taking GLP-1 drugs, but experts say many stopped taking it within a year.
Discontinuation is a prevalent problem.
Dr. Hamlet Gasoyan with Cleveland Clinic says there are several reasons why, including cost or insurance-related problems and side effects. In this study, Gasoyan led research into whether those who stop GLP-1 drugs can maintain their weight loss.
We hypothesized that they wouldn't just give up on their obesity treatment altogether, but they might pursue alternative therapies. And that's what our study shows.
Gasoyan says 45% of patients studied who stopped GLP-1 drugs for obesity kept their weight off after a year.
However, there was a significant variation, individual level variation across patients, which is expected because, again, some patients did nothing else after discontinuation.
Gasoyan says those who kept the weight off did one of a handful of things: continued lifestyle changes, restarted the GLP-1 medication, pursued bariatric surgery, or moved on to cheaper older generation medications for obesity. He says it's important to talk to your doctor and have a plan.
There are alternative options. After they have to stop or they need to stop their original medication. And luckily, those options are only growing.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Dr. Gasoyan says that 56% of patients studied who stopped taking GLP-1 drugs for type 2 diabetes control, not for obesity, maintained their weight loss a year later. He says the higher percentage is likely because of biology, but also because there's better insurance coverage for these medications for diabetic patients. Thank you for staying with us here on Fox 10 Midday. Your time is now 11:27 on your Wednesday. Still to come, coyotes are being spotted much more frequently in Mobile. Why the city says you can expect to see them more after the break. Plus, airport lines continue to grow amid DHS funding battles on Capitol Hill. That story and more in your business headlines when we come back.
Committed to you. This is Fox 10 Midday.
It's time for a look at your half-hour headlines on this Wednesday. First, jury deliberations are underway in the trial of Ibrahim Yazid, the man accused of killing Anaya Blanchard in 2019. Prosecutors asked the jury to find Yazid guilty of 2 counts of capital murder, 1 for kidnapping and 1 for robbery. On the kidnapping charge, prosecutors said they cannot prove Blanchard did not allow Yazid into her car with consent when they first met at a Chevron in Auburn. But they do say her blood and a bullet casing found in her car shows that at some point she wanted him out of her car. Prosecutors also say Blanchard was shot before she was taken to a wooded area in Macon County and shot again. Ibrahim also faces several lesser charges under each capital count, including first-degree kidnapping, first-degree robbery, and finally manslaughter. And meanwhile, a 37-year-old Pensacola man is alive thanks to quick action by 2 Navy sailors. The Florida Highway Patrol says it happened Sunday near US 98 and Navy Boulevard in Escambia County. Police say the man had a medical emergency while driving. Investigators say the car ran off the road before crashing into Bayou Chico Creek, becoming submerged. 2 Navy sailors assigned to NAS Pensacola saw the crash and responded right away. We're told one sailor jumped into the water and pulled the driver out. His injuries are not believed to be life-threatening at the time. And finally, a warning from the Postmaster General to lawmakers today. The U.S. Postal Service is on track to run out of money in about a year if Congress does not act. Postmaster General David Steiner called on lawmakers to lift a decades-old cap and allow the agency to borrow more cash. If they don't, Steiner says the Postal Service likely won't be able to pay its employees or vendors come next February. Steiner, who joined the Postal Service last summer, says he was not aware of the extent of the service's cash crunch until he actually took the job. In 2025 alone, USPS's losses totaled $9 billion overall. And in your business news on this Wednesday, airport security lines continue to grow. Holiday sales picked up for Macy's and some good news for renters. Let's hear from Fox's CJ Papa.
The TSA staffing shortage is getting worse at America's airports, and travelers are getting increasingly frustrated. Wait times at TSA security lines have reached nearly 2 hours at some airports. If you are flying through Atlanta, you're advised to arrive 3 hours before your flight.
We shot for like 2.5 hours before our flight, which would have been earlier than normal. We had pre-check, which helps.
We don't deserve this as TSA agents that are trying to keep the skies safe, but also the traveling public doesn't deserve this.
TSA callouts were over 50% at Houston's airports on Sunday and Monday. Weather also affecting flight operations at several hubs. Macy's reported stronger than expected profits in the crucial fourth quarter, and comparable sales rose again. The company offering a mixed outlook for the year, projecting sales above Wall Street expectations. And great news for renters across the country. Last month, the median rent price dipped to its lowest level in 4 years. Markets in Texas and Alabama seeing the steepest declines. The median asking rent for studio to two-bedroom properties in the 50 largest metro areas fell by 1.7% compared to a year ago. CJ Papa, Fox News.
A live look from the Fairhope Pier. You see a few clouds out there right now. We do have some clouds rolling overhead, and you'll notice that today we are not expecting rain today. We're not expecting rain over the next 7 to 10 days. It's going to be an extremely dry period here, but it's going to be a nice one. You have good weather for outdoor plans. You just need to water the lawn, though. Keep that in mind. All right, your current outlook or a look at the satellite radar picture across the region shows 55 degrees in Mobile, 53 Pensacola, 54 in Evergreen. There's a batch of clouds that's rolling through now. It's going to roll through over the next few hours. You do have some rain showers well off to the north in Tennessee Valley, but those are not heading our way. In the next 10 hours in Mobile, we have temperatures here, 58, 59, 61 here as we get into the afternoon. Then eventually we drop into the 50s. It is going to be a cool one for any evening plans you have, including an evening run maybe. Pensacola, you're going to have temperatures here in the 50s, 55 degrees by 7 p.m. Notice the cloud cover passing through, though, today. You're going to be noticing that with the temperatures held around the 60s, 62 for Theodore, Mobile, Saraland, 64 degrees, 62 in Sims, 64 in Citronelle, 62, excuse me, in Fairhope, and 61 in Magnolia Springs, 61 Gulf Shores, Orange Beach today, so a cool one down at the beach. Middle 60s for our inland communities, Bruton at 64, Grove Hill at 64, Chatham at 65. Northwest Florida, we have temperatures near 60 degrees at the immediate coast, middle 60s north of Interstate 10, 60 in Pensacola, and in our Mississippi County, 66 in Leakesville, 61 in Pascagoula. Warm days will be the big story once we get to the weekend and early next week. It's the 5-day outlook, and you see temperatures eventually getting to the 80s for this weekend. Also, I will note down at the beach this weekend, a low risk of rip currents. Good news for a lot of folks that are heading down there. However, a heads up, please still pay attention to those beach flags if you're heading down to the beach, and understand that because of this cool spell that we had, the water temperatures down at the coast are a little bit down. So maybe not the best water to get into, but we'll take it. Big ridge of high pressure over the western United States. That is, I mean, it's massive, and it's causing some heat issues across portions of Arizona, Nevada, and Southern California. This slowly makes its way east. Look at it in the map here. You can see the big ball of red. It really doesn't move that much through Friday. It's flattens out a little bit and squeezes off to the east. What this does for us is it keeps a quiet pattern in place over the next 5 days, 7 days. It's going to be a long period here. 10 o'clock this evening, you can see mostly clear skies. As we get to Tuesday morning, temperatures in the 40s, not as cold as it has been. Thursday afternoon, we get up into the 70s. Thursday evening looks like a nice evening. Any sunset photos, do send them in on the Fox 10 weather app. Friday morning, we're milder with temperatures in the 50s. Friday afternoon, we could hit 80 in some locations. We have 76 degrees in Mobile. Well, it's Friday, by the way, the start of spring, and it is going to feel like it, especially this weekend with those temperatures in the 80s, and into next week, a warm forecast as well with those temperatures staying in the 80s.
All right, thank you, Nick. Coyotes are showing up in some Mobile neighborhoods, and with it currently being mating season right now, the city says you'll be seeing much more of the animals. Take a look at this video that I shot that shows a coyote roaming around a front yard in my West Mobile neighborhood. Listen, at first, I really thought it was a dog based on the way it was running, but as I got closer, I realized it was in fact a coyote. And then look at this video. This was taken in the same neighborhood during the daytime. We've blurred those graphic moments, but it shows a coyote grabbing a duck and wringing it by the neck. If you see something like this, though, don't just post it online. Robert Bryant with City Animal Services says report it to the city so officials can track problem areas and also step in if a coyote turns aggressive. Bryant says, again, mating season drives more activity, but coyotes have long called this area home way before we did. Urban development and easy access to food and shelter have helped them thrive.
The majority of our coyotes in our area are just passing through, going from one area to the next. So, the biggest thing is if you see a coyote, you need to report it to us. A lot of people don't report coyote sightings to the city because they don't think there's going to be any immediate action. But what coyote reportings do help us do is they help us to establish those hot spots.
Yeah, and if you encounter an aggressive coyote, experts say you don't want to run away. Instead, they say make yourself look larger by waving your arms or waving a jacket high above your head and make some loud noises to scare it away. Speaking of, it's not just coyote activity on the rise. The warmer spring weather is bringing more animal activity as a whole. Morning anchor Sarah Wall is taking a look at what's happening with our local wildlife and what you need to know if you run across any animals on the move. In Depth with Sarah Wall, coyote activity on the rise is available for you to watch right now on the Fox 10 Gulfstream TV app and, of course, on our Fox 10 Facebook page. Well, in the meantime, a beloved wolf preserve in the Florida Panhandle has closed its doors after more than 20 years. Seacrest Wolf Preserve in Chipley is a nonprofit home to endangered wolves and other animals. New landowners claim the preserve violated its lease by not carrying the required insurance, and a judge ordered them to vacate by March 15th. A last-minute stay order was denied. And on Sunday, the deadline day, the preserve vacated the property. The preserve says all animals are now safe thanks to volunteers who helped complete Operation Wolf Mobile. The South Alabama baseball team picking up a big win over Alabama at Stanky Field. The Crimson Tide jumped out to a 3-1 lead, but in the bottom of the 7th, the Jags loaded the bases and were able to push 4 runs across to take the lead 5-3, and they would hold on to it from there. South Stewart Puckett and Ethan Melton each had 3 hits and combined for 3 RBIs. The Jags win gives them now a 31-23 edge when the teams play at Stanky. South is now 14-7 on the season. Alabama dropping to 15-7. The Jags host ULM this weekend. Friday night's first pitch is set for 6:30 p.m. Well, this Easter season, Fox is bringing the woman of the Bible to life in a powerful new way. The 6-part limited series, The Faithful Women of the Bible, is based on the book of Genesis from the Old Testament, told through the eyes of courageous and passionate yet flawed women, whose descendants would shape 3 of the world's greatest faiths: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. The series spotlights some of the Bible's most legendary women, including Sarah, Hagar, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel. Academy Award nominee Minnie Driver stars as Sarah and spoke about why these stories matter.
These women were so exceptional, were so strong, were so patient, and to be able to tell those stories is not just important, but wonderful and feels timely.
Full Women of the Bible premieres this Sunday at 7 right here on Fox 10, and it will air 3 consecutive Sundays with the finale on Easter Sunday. That's April 5th. 11:42 now, straight ahead on Fox 10 Midday. We are testing out a product that claims to take out the quality issue when it comes to your phone's cameras. Does it work? Welcome back. Your phone likely has a camera lens on the front and maybe 2 or 3 on the back.
That's why you notice a difference in quality when you take a selfie.
Yeah, Rachel Hackbarth tests out a product that promises to do away with that issue. And today's Does It Work?
You have a screen on the front of your phone, but what if there was also an extra monitor on the back? This week we're testing out this magnetic monitor screen for $37.99. The makers claim this will allow you to shoot videos of yourself with the better quality camera you find on the backside of your phone. Shakira Zachary's business, the Creator Hub, is something she describes as a playground for content creators, and it can get frustrating recording a video alone.
Oh, I'm really excited about this because it makes recording videos so much easier.
What do you think about it so far?
Okay, it's light.
The instructions tell us to turn on our phone's Bluetooth, allowing us to connect to this small remote.
Step 1, pairing. All right, looks like it's Bluetooth. Step 2, open app. Okay, step 3, shooting. All right, so that makes it pretty simple. I don't know. I feel like we might be able to figure this out.
If your phone case comes with this magnetic piece, then you can attach the selfie monitor. You just need to get into mirror mode.
All right, this looks like a little easy puzzle. Perfect. Okay. It is upside down.
That's weird.
Let's see if it works this way. Now I'm blocking the camera. We got some minor technical difficulties. Okay, so the side has like a lighting. Okay, the window changes with this button. Brightness, I do want to turn it up, that's cool. The round one flips the camera on here.
We're taking photos and videos of ourselves, but with the back camera, giving content creators like Shakira a better quality video.
Hey friends, it's your girl Shaky, and I'm here with Rachel from KWCH Channel 12.
All right, and here's our video. Not only does Shakira think this monitor works, she believes it could make content creation a lot easier for streamers like herself.
I'd get one.
You like it?
Yeah, and you don't cost too much.
Yeah, let me actually look.
That's a steal.
For Does It Work, I'm Rachel Hackbarth.
I'm open to this one. I like this one.
Not bad.
I mean, they have a point though. The quality varies based on which side of the camera you're using on your phone.
I try to make. I just flip the phone around and hit and hope that I'm standing in front.
That's where you use the volume button
I'll put the mirror behind I'll set my phone on a tripod, then I'll put a mirror behind my phone so I can see what my phone is saying.
That's too much. You need one of these.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, maybe we should get one. All right, we'll let you know. Mysterious red specks are showing up on images taken by the most powerful space telescope.
And scientists don't know what they are.
They call them little red dots, and NASA's James Webb Space Telescope has now identified hundreds of them.
Early theories suggested they could be massive galaxies from the early universe, or black holes surrounded by dust.
But newer information has challenged those ideas.
Researchers now believe the objects could represent a missing link, potentially solving the mystery of how black holes formed in the first place.
Wow.
This is above my pay grade of science.
They kind of look like pimples, don't they? They do a little bit. I feel like that's a good analogy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They do.
Okay, you have a creative
Pretty cool.
mind.
All right, we are still on the space train here. Newly released scans contain a surprise from NASA's OSIRIS-REx mission.
Yeah, they show the Bennu asteroid.
Earth-based instruments suggest it has a number of smooth spots.
But these new images show it's actually jagged and rugged with very, very large boulders on it. Take a look at that. So imagery of an asteroid in pretty decent resolution there.
Yeah.
You can see a lot of the details. Look at the texturing on that. That is cool. It's amazing how we can see stuff that is so far away.
Absolutely. It's constantly developing as well. I feel like we're seeing so many different perspectives of varying matter and material that's out there in space. No asteroids out hitting us today, but we have a beautiful day out there, so let's take a look.
That is a good thing, Ashlyn. Thank you for bringing up that very important point. Eastern Shore Toyota Camera Network, Dauphin Island Sea Lab, taking this look here on the east end of Dauphin Island. A few clouds out there. It's going to be a nice day, though. Warming trend. We'll have the details coming up.
listen to this wild story as we wrap up today. A suspect flees a scene and jumps in a river, forcing pursuing deputies to grab paddle boards and finish the chase on the water. And get this, the whole thing was caught on camera. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Watch a foot chase in Florida turn into a paddleboard pursuit after authorities took to the water on boards to nab a fleeing suspect. It started when Volusia County deputies were questioning a man in the Daytona Beach area when he suddenly took off, sparking a foot pursuit that went from marathon to maritime when he jumped in the nearby Halifax River. A deputy, along with a Daytona Beach shore officer, hopped on paddleboards and continued the pursuit, which ended predictably with the suspect treading water and needing some help. He was brought to shore and, according to Volusia County Sheriff's Office, is being held on a $1,500 bond, facing charges for loitering, prowling, and resisting arrest. He couldn't be reached for comment, but I must note this sprinting/swimming suspect's name, and I swear I'm not making this up, is Chase Cruz. Another deputy in another Florida burg nabbed another seaworthy suspect, this one a large land-loving alligator spotted near a school. An Osceola County deputy responded and wrangled the trespasser, who seemed none too happy and put up a flopping, flailing fight. But the deputy prevailed, snapped a social-worthy selfie, and relocated the 6.5-foot gator to a more suitable environment. Finally, from a gator grappling guy to a grocery gathering go-getter getting the gold in Georgia. Sorry, alliteration got away from me there. WXIA reports an Atlanta area teen now has grocery bagging bragging rights after he was named the best bagger in America at the National Grocers Association Championship in Las Vegas. 18-year-old Rocco Camerata says he trained for months. Good thing, too, because judges reportedly grade on speed and technique. Clearly not a prob for Rocco, who had it in the bag. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
I know a thing or two about fast, okay? Back in college during COVID, I actually worked for Arby's, fun fact. And while I was there, we broke the drive-through time record for the entire state while I was on the drive-through. I was just flinging out orders. And guess what we won? Arby's sweatpants.
You have Arby's sweatpants?
Arby's sweatpants. And it says, like, it has, like, all of the sandwiches on it and everything. It's phenomenal.
Okay.
That's just a little,
an interesting
story, a little fun fact about me here.
An interesting story from Ashland.
There
Let's
you
go look
go.
at the forecast. Right now at Orange Beach, it's looking cool, 55 degrees. We do have some clouds out there. Reminder for your beach flags, please pay attention, spring breakers. This is so important. If you do see yellow flags, pay attention. If you see red flags, you need to be paying serious attention. Maybe consider not getting in the water. Also, those purple flags, something to consider. UV index forecast as well for spring breakers. You got to understand, you got to put on the sunscreen, or otherwise you will have a terrible time. So make sure that you are putting on sunscreen if you're down at the beach. Today's highs in the 60s. It is a cool one. Eventually, though, we'll get up into the 80s. You see the long range forecast does show temperatures 81 degrees for Saturday and Sunday, 83 on Monday. Saturday and Sunday are fantastic. This is just going to be a great weekend with those temperatures in the 80s and mostly sunny skies. Spring starts on Friday, so happy spring. It is going to be a nice, warm, dry, quiet weather stretch over the next 7 to 10 days, maybe even longer.
That's what I like to hear, but you were talking about that before. Gonna have to water the lawn and think ahead for sure.
Because we are not getting rain.
Yeah, good to know. Excited for spring though on Friday, feeling very springy here. We want to thank you for joining us for Fox 10 Midday. We'll see you in just a few hours from now for Fox 10 Live at 3 right here.